Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elisa and today I would like to talk with you about my experience as a sample knitter for Cardiff Cashmere. So this is a project I've kept, not a secret because I've posted something on Instagram, and by the way, you can follow me at Elisa Knitting Stories if you like. But it is a project about which I haven't talked much because I don't know, I didn't feel pressure to make it perfect, but I wanted to keep it like a sort of surprise for my YouTube channel instead of sharing a lot about it on Instagram. So what happened at the end of January actually, Cardiff Cashmere reached out to me through a designer for whom I've test knitted in the past, and asked me if I wanted to sample knit some petit knits design for them using their yarn. They were looking especially for an Italian knitter because, of course, shipping within the same country, I guess it's easier and cheaper, and so somehow they reached out to me, and when they when they asked me to sample knit these two garments actually for them, I was like, first of all, stunned, second of all, speechless, and after that I just knew I had to take this opportunity because Cardiff Cashmere yarns are very special, luxurious, but at the same time expensive, and I've just started working in January, December actually, and so yes, my budget for yarn has definitely increased in regard from compared to when I was a student, but it's definitely not enough to buy Cardiff Cashmere yarns. So I knew that if I wanted to try out some Cardiff Cashmere, this would have been an amazing opportunity. And so actually Cardiff Cashmere asked me to sample knit actually two designs by Petit Knit, which are the Poppy Tee and the Elizabeth blouse. I had never knitted these two garments before, but I was familiar with the constructions already, and so there was nothing stopping me. And today I would like to talk with you about not just my experience as a sample knitter, but also my experience while working these two garments. So first of all, Cardiff Cashmere sent me their yarn to make the Elizabeth blouse and the Poppy Tee, and I started out with the Elizabeth blouse. For the Elizabeth blouse, they sent me, I think, 11 balls of Cardiff Cashmere in the colorway 647, which is actually the colorway Cosmo. And it's this beautiful navy blue. I think that I would have never picked this color for myself, but I'm happy to have had the possibility of seeing it in person because I think it's a beautiful, deep and saturated navy blue, and I think it's gorgeous. So Cardiff Cashmere Classic in a colorway 647 Cosmo. For a 25-gram ball, you get 112 meters. And I worked this yarn on 3.5 millimeter needles to reach the gauge for the Elizabeth blouse, which is actually a gauge of 23 stitches per 32 rows in a 10 centimeter in stockinette stitch. So this yarn is beautiful, is so soft, and it was a pleasure to work to make the garment, which I'm going to show you. So this is the Elizabeth blouse that I've made. It's very hard to show, but I'll pop up some pictures, of course, of the original design by Petit Knit, which is, by the way, made in the same yarn. I loved especially knitting the collar. I think the collar is beautiful. Maybe I'll insert some B-rolls because it's very hard to show. But yeah, I love the texture of the yarn. It's so soft and it's so drapey at the same time. Suggested needle size for this pattern was 4mm needles, but I had to go down because I'm a loose knitter and I didn't like the fabric of that 4mm needles gave me. So in the end I just decided to aggressively block this garment to get the right measurements, but having a fabric that I really enjoyed and that I think someone else could enjoy. Yeah, sample knitting is hard because I think that you have to listen to your preferences and to go with your guts sometimes, but you also have to keep in mind that you need to closely follow the pattern that you're given. And this was the first, let's say, this was the hardest part for me because when I was trying to choose what to do with the patterns, I was always asking myself what would other people like to do and not what I preferred. I don't know if that makes sense, but yes. Talking about the Elizabeth blouse, this one is worked from the top down, and you start with the collar, which is knitted in, not in double knitting, but you start with a Judy's Magic cast on so that you can work in around the collar and it creates this double knitted collar, which I think it's beautiful, so squishy and so soft. And after that you start working exactly a raglan, but for the first part when you're knitting the collar, the raglan is flat, of course, because it's a sort of v-neck. And after that you also create the double knitting here for the continuation of the color. It was a very fun construction, especially at the beginning, while at the bottom it became, you know, a little bit boring because it was just stockinette, but at the same time it was the perfect project for some TV knitting and so on. You know, when you do not want to connect your thoughts, you just knit stockinette sometimes. About the yarn, as I told you, they sent me 11 balls of these Cardiff Cashmere Classic. The yarn is great, yarn is gorgeous, yarn is the softest yarn I've ever worked with, and it's super squishy. It's very expensive, I want to say, because it's like 15 euros per 25 grams, and I used 10 balls of this yarn to make an entire sweater in the size medium. So this sweater actually costs 150 euros, which is a lot. But I can understand the price. Trying out this yarn really made me realize the quality of this brand. And I'm saying this not because this yarn is not sponsored, of course, because I have to send the garments back. But yeah, I love the color, I love the texture. I used the spit splicing without using spit, but just using, you know, some water. And it, you know, the yarn sticked beautifully together. So yeah, it's great. It's plied, but you know, when you wash this, it sort of blooms, I would say, and it fills the gaps. So at the beginning your swatch might seem a little bit, you know, gapey, but then when you wash it, all the fuzziness of the cashmere like fills up the gaps, and that was beautiful, I think. The experience of knitting these Elizabeth blouse was definitely great. I don't know if I will ever knit these blouse again. So I really liked it when I saw it on Petit Knit's pictures. But then, of course, before washing the blouse, I tried it on, and I don't really see myself wearing an Elizabeth blouse. I don't know why. There's something wrong with the collar and my body shape. in the sense that I don't feel good wearing the Elizabeth blouse, because I think that it makes my, upper body seem a little bit strange, a little bit weird. I should also say that this Elizabeth blouse was a size bigger than mine, but I think that I prefer this. If I had to knit these for myself, I would knit size medium anyways, because I prefer garments with a little bit more of positive ease. Suggested positive ease, but for the Elizabeth blouse is indeed 6 centimeters, which is a little bit too tight for me. I would prefer something with at least 10 or 15 centimeters of positive ease. But still, I don't know, there's something wrong with this. I do not want it for myself. I enjoy the process, but simply sometimes you enjoy working on garments, but then you try them on and simply you don't feel comfortable in them, and this is what happened with the Elizabeth blouse. So in a sense, I'm sad that I have to part with these finished objects that I just realized, but at the same time, I'm happy that I tried making it for someone else, tried it on, and that I understood that this is not for me. Then the second garment that I had to make for Cardiff Cashmere is the poppy tee, in actually a color that I think I would have never chosen for myself, which is this red. This red is the colorway 517 Hermes, I think. Let me check. Yes, Hermes. It's this beautiful poppy red, I think. It's very warm, and it tends towards orange instead of blues, so it's very warm toned. Always Cardiff Cashmere classic, and I use that to realize the poppy tee, which is this beautiful garment. Now, I must say, when the poppy tee first came out, I wasn't really, I don't know, it didn't tell me anything. It just seemed a simple t-shirt made with cashmere, and that is, I cannot wear cashmere t-shirts in Italy because it's too warm. But then when I started working on it, I really enjoyed the construction. So let me tell you a little bit more about the poppy tee. The gauge is always 23 stitches per 32 rows, this time in 3.5 millimeter needles, and I used 3.5 millimeter needles as the pattern suggested. The poppy tee is worked from the top down. First, the top part of the back yoke is worked with increases, then the shoulders are worked from stitches that are picked up and knitted along the slanting sides at the back yoke. And this is a construction which was pretty different from everything I had ever knitted before. And it was so interesting and so nice to do. And this is probably what made me realize that I really wanted a poppy tee for myself. So I really think that this year I will knit a poppy tee for myself. I don't think that this will happen in cashmere, but I guess that I can see why cashmere is perfect for this tee, because it's so, so drapey, so light, and it's still wool. So I really enjoyed all of the details, because it's a really simple pattern, but at the same time every detail is really curated. So for example, if you see here, the increases are well shaped and they create a sort of decoration throughout the armholes. And then before doing every kind of ribbing, you have this line of this per row, which make also here on the collar, which make a beautiful detail, and also here at the bottom. Of course, I will insert some B-rolls. And I think it's beautiful. I also tried this one on, and I can really see myself wearing this garment. I can really see myself, using it underneath cardigans, or during the summer just as as a top. Maybe I would do it a little bit more cropped and not in cashmere because it's too hot for me. Probably I would prefer some wool and cotton blend, or just I could try out with some cotton. But yeah, I think this is beautiful. Again, the yarn was amazing, and I think I would knit this one in size medium as I did for Cardiff Cashmere, because I like the positive ease that these gave me, and the positive ease, suggested positive ease again is 5 centimeters, which I know is a little bit too, it's not enough for me. I prefer something bigger, and I think size medium would give me around 10-12 centimeters of positive ease, which is perfectly what I need for a summer garment, for a spring garment. All in all, I thought that I wouldn't have enjoyed this color, but knitting with this color was so addictive. Knitting with this color was amazing. I really, I don't know, it was just potato chippy, I would say. I just needed to pick up my red t-shirt. So I think that I would choose this color again if I was to, I don't know, if I felt like knitting something crazy. I think that this would be a great choice for me. This colorway is just beautiful. I think that I look better in warm toned colors rather than in cool toned colors. And this red is just what every warm tone girl would enjoy, I guess. So yes, while I don't think I would knit for myself an Elizabeth blouse, even if looking at Petit Knit pictures, I really enjoyed it, I think that I would really like to have a poppy tee in my wardrobe. So maybe stay tuned for the future and upcoming spring knitting plans video, because I think you will see that I'm planning a poppy tee. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but let's say an 80%. I'm actually a bit sad of having to part with this beautiful poppy tee, because really I don't know, it entered my heart. It's so beautiful, I can't stop looking at it. But now let's go to the fun part. And the fun part is that Cardiff Cashmere actually asked me if I wanted to be paid and how. And maybe I'm stupid, I don't know, but I think that a lot of knitters would understand. But I consider knitting my hobby, and I don't want to be paid for knitting, because I fear it would create some sort of bad mechanism within my head. I just want this one to become and to stay an hobby. So I really did it for fun and for pleasure, and I didn't do it for, rewards. But actually they offered to send me some yarn, and I asked for 2 sweater quantities of Cardiff Cashmere Classic, which is, oh my god, now I have 2 sweater quantities of Cardiff Cashmere Classic in my stash. And I really, I don't think I have processed this, because I really thought that this would have never happened in my life, because it's too expensive. So I was so lucky, and I would like to say that I know I was super lucky in because I had this possibility, and I don't know, not everybody has this thing. It's like when you are chosen for a sponsored test knits, there are not so many spots, and so not everybody can be chosen, and this is just on the basis of luck, I guess, and not because you're more skilled or experienced than someone else. It's just because the designer or the company just chose you because of your, I don't know, because of the look of your Instagram profile or things like that. it's not fair, and I know, but at the same time, I was lucky, and so I felt like taking advantage of the possibility that, you know, life was given me. So I really want to make clear that I'm not saying that this happened to me because I'm better than anybody else. I know I'm lucky. And I'm showing this to you just because I want to share my experience and reflect upon my experience as a sample knitter. So definitely the best part of being a sample knitter is getting some reward for the work you've done. They sent me 2 sweater quantities of Cardiff Cashmere Classic, and here we have the boxes. Ta-da! Let me show you the colors that I've chosen. So they sent me 12 balls of these 2 colors, and now I'm opening it. First color is this. This is the color 716 or Hashi. You can find it on Cardiff Cashmere's website. So this color is beautiful. It's a beautiful pink. It's very saturated, and I really see myself knitting something with cables using this yarn. Again, it's very soft. As soon as I saw this color, I knew that I wanted it because, you know, pink is one of my favorite colors. I love wearing pink things. I think pink pairs beautifully with my wardrobe. And so, yes, this pink was just a dream. As I was telling you, something with cables, I was really thinking about the season sweater by Maria Isaeva or Ullen Knitwear, but I don't think that this is the right gauge. I should pair it with mohair, but I really want to hold this one single, also because this sweater would be really expensive without mohair already. And so maybe sweater number 15 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, you know, all black gold, classic but not boring, classic but beautiful. Plus, I'm really missing some My Favorite Things Knitwear's patterns in my wardrobe. I really enjoy her style, and I think I'm feeling like knitting something from her. Still, I don't have any swatch. I still need to, you know, try out things and decide. But yes, this is beautiful. I don't know, let me know what you think about this color. Let me know if you know any cable patterns which you think might be beautiful and might be right with this yarn. Actually, this is a sort of sport weight yarn, and so I think it would be okay with gauges such as one of the Poppy Tea and the Elizabeth Blouse, so 23 stitches per 10 centimeters. Great, this one, amazing. And then let's go to the second color here, which is, oh my god, I think this one is my favorite color of like Cardiff Cashmere, and I'm so happy I chose this one. So the colorway that I chose is this green. It is color 543, also called Jungle on their website, and it's this beautiful warm-toned green, which is almost a military green but brighter. Oh my god, every time I look at these, I'm just, yes, I chose right. And you know, it was really hard to choose colors from their website because they have so many great colors, but they're all very saturated. So I was always worried that they would have washed me out somehow. But this green is exactly the color that I enjoy to wear. This pink and this green are perfect for my wardrobe too. So this is the color Django, and I don't know, I want to use this one in a very simple stockinette project, but with a twist. So I was thinking maybe about the Bepeo blouse by Egionette, which is, I know, something similar to the Elizabeth blouse, but it has a sort of more relaxed fit that I think I would enjoy more, because actually, if there's something that I learned with the Elizabeth blouse and with the Busan sweater, actually, if you have watched that video about my greatest knitting flop, is that there's something that I learned with these two garments, and it's that I don't like garments that are too tight on myself. I don't like garments that have a very small positive ease. It needs to be either negative ease or around 20 centimeters of negative ease. Minimum of negative ease that I need is 15 centimeters, but at the same time, I don't like 40 centimeters of positive ease. Like, I think that 30 centimeters, maybe 25 centimeters of positive ease is better. I think that the Bepeo blouse would be perfect. Actually, I'm a little bit worried about the gauge because it's 21 stitches per 28 rows, so this one could be a little bit too thin, also considering that I am a loose knitter, but I have 12 skeins, so maybe I could knit a size bigger with a smaller gauge and, get away with that, but I don't know. Suggested positive ease for this garment is around 30 centimeters, so I think it would be nice. I could knit size, maybe I could knit size 2, to have the positive ease of size 1, I don't know, which would be around 20-25 centimeters of positive ease, and that would be great. So yes, Cardiff Cashmere Classic in the colorway Django. So guys, this was my experience as a sample knitter. In the end, I enjoyed it and I think I would do it again. But at the same time, I don't want to spend the rest of my life sample knitting, because I really, in the end, I spent 1 month and a couple of days knitting something for somebody else that I will not keep for myself. And every knitter is sort of a selfish knitter in the end. And so I really, now that I've finished, I really felt like casting on a project for myself. So I think that I can do sample knits sometimes, once in a while, but I would never consider this my job. Again, this is my hobby and I want to make things for myself. Still, this was fun. It was fun to try out. It was fun to know that I enjoyed it and I didn't feel too much pressure knowing that I had to knit things in a very, precise way. But still, yeah. That was it. That was my experience. So maybe let me know if you've ever sample knitted a garment for some yarn companies or for some yarn shops. I would really like to know what your opinion about sample knitting is and what you think, if you would ever, try out sample knitting maybe in the future. This was my experience. I enjoyed it, and yes, I think I could do it once or twice in a year. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like and maybe subscribe to the channel. As you know, a lot of people who watch this channel are actually not subscribed, and just clicking that button would help me incredibly. We are a lot, but I want this community to grow and to feel more, open and big. And I don't know, I have so much fun filming this video and publishing my content, and so I'm happy when people enjoy it and show me that they're enjoying it. So yes, I think this is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy knitting. See you in the next one. Bye bye.